Alright folks, it's week 2 of the college football season. I got a recap last week and I'm only going to talk about Michigan. Michigan loses at home to Appalachian State. Are you kidding me? In the big house, you really made the Big Ten look bad. That's one thing I need to do, is change a conference pick. In my last video, I picked my conference champions for the year. I only stated that Michigan, on paper only, should win the Big Ten, and Ohio State would be lurking in there. Now, Ohio State will win the Big Ten, in my opinion, not just because I'm an Ohio State fan. I think their spread offense and their stout defense will roll through that conference. Now on to week 2. I'm going to run through the top 25 schedule for this week and give you my picks for the ball games this weekend. Starting with tonight, Louisville's at home against Middle Tennessee State. Louisville wins this game by 50, maybe more. Who knows? Navy travels to Rutgers tomorrow night. Very good matchup here. This is a very, very good test for Rutgers. Navy better not be overlooked by Rutgers. However, I think Ray Rice and company roll through that defense and win by 2 touchdowns over a pretty good Navy team tomorrow night. Saturday, West Virginia, in-state rivalry at Marshall. West Virginia wins this game big. Fred Slayton might have 3 or 4 touchdowns in this ball game. Nebraska at Wake Forest, a good early game, a good tough road test for a dark horse Big 12 team in Nebraska. I like Nebraska on the road, but it's going to be close over Wake Forest. Another game of the week, Miami of Florida goes to Oklahoma, renewing an old rivalry there. I think Miami of Florida has what it takes to win in this game. However, Oklahoma is at home. I give them the slight edge. This is going to be a close ball game. I say Oklahoma by 3. Akron's at Ohio State. Ohio State wins big in this game. Louisiana Monroe travels to Clemson. Clemson looked very, very good in the first half against Florida State. I don't expect them to have any troubles with Louisiana Monroe. Clemson wins this game big. Samford travels to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat a very bad Notre Dame team last week, but I don't take anything away from Georgia Tech. They got a very, very good defense and a very, very good running back. Georgia Tech's in for a good season this year, and they roll over Samford easily. California at Colorado State. This could be a trap game from California as they beat Tennessee at home last week. They better not overlook the Rams of Colorado State, but I think California focuses and wins this game. It might be a little tighter than people think, but California wins this ball game. Fresno State goes to Texas A&M. I like Texas A&M at home over Fresno State. Though Texas A&M started slowly last week, they get the ball rolling. I think they beat the Bulldogs by at least 2 to 3 touchdowns. Boise State and Washington, another possible good early matchup here. Washington looked very good against a very bad Syracuse team, so we can't really gauge Washington. We know what Boise State's got. They'll go into Washington, I think, and win this game close. If Washington focuses on this game instead of Ohio State next week, this game will be very competitive, and I would not be surprised if Washington wins, but I take Boise State very, very close in Washington. The upset that I have for this week is South Carolina travels to Georgia. Steve Spurrier and his Gamecocks go into Georgia, and I think pull an upset on a late field goal or a late touchdown. I give the edge to South Carolina here by 3 points. Notre Dame travels to Penn State. I think Notre Dame's in for a long night in Happy Valley. Penn State rolls in this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Troy goes to Florida. Florida has no trouble here as they will roll over the men of Troy. BYU at UCLA, another good early game. BYU is a team that could crack the top 25 this season. I think they will give UCLA all they want, but in the end, UCLA at home comes out on top by a touchdown. TCU at Texas. Texas struggles last week against Arkansas State. Could set up a very, very big game for TCU. However, Texas is at home. I expect them to put the pieces of the puzzle back together and win this game. I think this game is close, though, going into the 4th quarter, but Texas wins this ball game. Southern Mississippi is at Tennessee. Tennessee comes off the big loss at Cal. I expect them to clamp down, put things back together, and get back to the winning side at home over Southern Mississippi. Hawaii at Louisiana Tech. Colt Brennan goes to Louisiana Tech and puts up 50 to 60 points as Hawaii rolls. South Florida and Auburn, another good game right here. South Florida is a team that can come in and give this Auburn team, who struggled mightily at home last week against Kansas State, a lot of trouble. I expect Auburn to win this game, but it's going to be a very, very tight game. But Auburn comes out on top by a touchdown. Virginia Tech, LSU, game of the night. Number 9, Virginia Tech struggled last week against East Carolina. We can't take a lot out of that. All the emotion was built up in Blacksburg last week. It was hard to gauge that team because of the situation last week. I like Virginia Tech to go into LSU and give LSU a very, very good game. But it's at night. at LSU, that place will be rocking. Those players will feed off of that, and LSU will win this game, but I think it's going to be a very, very good game until the end. And to round out the top 25, Wisconsin travels to UNLV. Wisconsin rolls in this game big. Those are my top 25 picks for Week 2. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.